Introducing setting up and installing a kitchen printer. Now in today's example, we're going to be using an Epson U220B, but most impact printers that are used for orders are set up the same way. For this video, I've got 4 things that I'm going to need. The first is my ink ribbon. The second is my paper. The third is the power cable that's going to go into the printer. And then lastly, the network cable that's going to go into the printer. Let's start with the inside of the printer for the paper and the ink ribbon. First, with this one, go ahead and pull this up, which opens up the back part of the carriage where I can put in the receipt paper. I want to make sure that this just goes on the underside like this. Drop this in here, pull this up to add a little bit of leeway, and then close that. Now that I've done that, I can rip off the excess. Next, what we want to do is we want to install the ink ribbon. To do so, you'll notice on both sides of the printer, there's a little lip here and the same on the other side. To lift this easily, take both hands, wrap around the printer, pop the front open. This is the area here where you're going to put the ink ribbon. Now there are already instructions here on the display, but we'll go ahead and show you how this is done. The back part of the ink ribbon right here will go at the front. And then the ink label will go in the back. Take this, push down. And you want to make sure that it's pushed firmly down as much as it can. Then close this part. All right. Now I've got the paper in and I've got the ink ribbon. Next, let's go ahead and put in the power cable as well as the network cable. So I'm going to flip this on the side here. We've got a handful of different ports. The 2 ports we're going to be using today is the network port and the power port. So first, for the power port, I'm going to take my power cable here and I'm going to put it right here. All right. And then lastly, my network cable. Now, just like with the other previous videos, remember this network cable, Ethernet cable, patch cable, the other side of this is going to go into your network. So whether that means it goes into a switch, a router, a modem, anything like that. Because this device needs to be able to connect to your network so it can communicate to the rest of your devices. Okay, now we're all set and ready to use our kitchen printer. Next, we're going to go into part 2, where I show you how to add the kitchen printer into your system. Welcome to step 2 of installing an order printer. Now for this video, I'm using an Epson U220. And this is an impact printer, which means it has an ink ribbon and paper. And it was installed with a power cable as well as a network cable. Now, when you first turn it on, as long as it's connected to the network, you'll get a chit that will print like this. And it'll show you the IP address of the device. Now, you'll see how we're going to use that later to identify which printer we have on the network. But in order to add this printer to your system, we're going to scan that into your device. First, to do that, we're going to log in. Then we're going to navigate with the 3 lines in the top left. And we're going to go to the section here called Hardware. From Hardware, the very first option you can see there says Printers. Now I've got a list of printers currently on my system, but I want to add this one. To do so, I'm going to tap Scan Printers on the top right. Now that I've done that, I actually do have a handful of printers currently on my network, but I'm looking for a very specific one. That's going to be this one. I can see that the IP address of this ends in 39. I can also see an entry here. Here's my TMU220, and it ends in 39. This is the printer I want to add. So I'm going to tap the Add button. All right, now I need to add the printer. I'm going to give it a name. For now, we'll just call this KP. I need to add it, select it to a group as well. We're just going to add it to kitchen. You can add it to whatever group you would like. You can also add additional groups. The model you can see is already filled in based on that information. You can also see the option to enable drawer and give it its own drawer name. That tends to be more useful in the scenarios where you have a receipt printer that has a drawer with it. Network type will keep it Wi-Fi. Next is printer type. If you've got an ink ribbon, it's going to be impact. If you don't, it's going to be thermal. So today I'm going to select impact. And then lastly, the printer brand. This is going to be Epson. Now that I have all the information filled out, I can tap the Save button in the top right. Now, the only thing that would be left over right now is to go into my menu and assign any items or categories to print to this printer. Also, if I would like, I can use this opportunity to do a demo print. And there we go. It's printed. That is step 2 of adding a printer to your system.